down. King is going to get himself open. The ball is going to be underthrown because the quarterback gets hit as he releases it. And he sees the response of the defensive person. He thinks he's going to intercept it, and he goes to react to the ball. If he'd have continued on his route, he'd have been gone.
Well, the last time that Marty Garagosian punted the football, he had to chase it a while. Now the Blue Jays are going to call a timeout with 1:10 to go in the half. I'm surprised. Now, Cal Fletcher's talking to Bobby Johnson probably about this particular punt situation, but I don't know why Southfield didn't call a timeout right after the play.
Well, they didn't have to call a timeout because the ball was, or the clock wasn't running.
I'm sorry.
And then obviously they wanted to discuss something, so they took the timeout.
Mike Brenner postulates that there might have been too many men on the field, and that's why they called timeout. And something that I mentioned last week after Frank had departed, and I want to clarify it, that the too many men on the field rule has two, well, you can amplify it a little bit, but it has really two types of penalty.
Yeah, if he's trying to get off the field and doesn't participate in the play, it's a 5-yard penalty. If he participates in the play, it's unsportsmanlike and it's a 15-yard penalty.
I had mentioned the fact that, well, I never really finished the sentence, which is not uncommon for me on occasion. Garagosian, 33.8 on the season. He's averaging 33 so far in this contest. The whistle will start play. This time a low snap, and Marty did a good job of getting it away. A spiraling kick, and a spiraling kick has a good chance of taking a good roll. And Cassidy Wright picked the football up a la Ura King on the last Billy Troy punt, and he just took it 8 yards, a 43-yard punt and roll by Garagosian. That's probably why these punters love to play at the Silverdome, because even if their average is not what they'd like it to be, they can pick up a few yards on their average.
Well, they also, they get such a true bounce on this carpet.
What is a true bounce?
A true bounce? I'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, you teach English, though, not physics. Darziel Hall throws a little sideline pass that was headed toward the sideline to Cassidy Wright. Cassidy's lying down on the ground and realized, hey, I got to get up because the clock is running. 35 seconds, 34, and down it runs. 2 timeouts for Southfield. Now he underthrows Cassidy Wright, but he does a good job coming back, catching the football midfield, goes out of bounds. First down, Blue Jays at the 49-yard line or midfield, 25 seconds to go in the half.
Well, I've seen high school teams come into the Silverdome and throw the bounce lateral, where they drop back into a pass situation, but they actually throw the ball behind him and intentionally skip it on the ground up to the receiver. And what happens is the secondary stops, and then that person throws a pass off of that.
Well, it takes longer to explain it than the coach. Draw play handoff, Bobby Johnson. Blue Jays not getting much on that one. Waleed Shamami was down there along with number 79, Joe Mauney. And now 13 seconds remain. The Blue Jays apparently are going to let it run down. They're going to run one more play. Again, they have 2 timeouts. I don't understand that. Swing pass, sideline. Cassidy Wright out of bounds, 43-yard line. Run out of bounds there by Richard Harvey, number 88. 2 seconds to go. And unless the scoreboard's wrong, Frank, the timeout's not being used.
Well, Cassidy Wright's doing a nice job of getting the ball and getting out of bounds. And now that they are going to use their timeout, here I never could figure this out, even when I coached. They had a timeout a minute ago. All the water boys came out. Everybody drank. Everybody did this. And now they take another timeout, you know, not even 45 seconds later, and they've got to water everybody down. They're going in for halftime. This is an informational timeout. Coach came out there to talk. Put the water bottles away, put the towels away, and let the coach talk.
Well, this is, of course, the final game of the year, and the Water Boys may be seniors, too. And it is on television. So we can do an ISO of them at halftime. These are guys I know that are looking forward to, if I'm not mistaken, probably junior varsity players that will get an opportunity to play coming up next year. Good season for the junior varsity team as well. From the 43-yard line, Cassidy Wright hopes maybe they put a little extra helium in the football. Bobby Johnson in motion to the right side. Darziel Hall throws it long downfield, and it is intercepted and dropped by Uric King, or not Uric King, but rather Bryant Wyndham. And that is the way the first half will end. A rather uneventful ending to a rather eventful first half. And so from the Pontiac Silverdome, our halftime are standing back awaiting the Bobby Johnson kickoff, and he will again use the hash mark that is closest to the Blue Jays sideline. 12-7, Southfield leads as we begin the second half here at the Silverdome. This one will bounce right into the hands of Ray Moreland, and Moreland kind of stumbles his way up to the 40-yard line. You know, Ray Moreland doing a nice job, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Ray's first kickoff return of, no, that is, yep, indeed, that's his first kickoff return of the 1988 season. How about that?
Well, he took full advantage of his opportunity. He gave his team good field position, and Southfield Lathrup has done well when they've had the ball where they had operating room.
See Marty Garagosian with the plays on his wrist. That is something that he has done over the last couple of years. I don't know if it's a complicated offense that Darryl Harper uses, but I'm sure he's sure of himself. Uric King in the secondary. He goes to the outside, and Uric King goes to the 45-yard line. So he picks up 9 yards. Excuse me. He picks up 13 yards, and Uric King is doing it from all over the field.
Well, you're going to see King in the backfield, and we saw him there in the West Bloomfield game. He was very effective. He was there due to an injury to one of his teammates. Now, he went back to his regular wide receiver spot to start tonight's game, but the second half, as we said, they're going to pull out the stops, and they put him in tailback in the eye, and that was a great opener for him.
Beatty is walking off the field with a little assistance from Dr. Denise Bradford, I believe. He's a little upset that he has to come out, but I think probably would be more upset if he stayed in the football game and didn't know he was in there. From the 45-yard line, first down and 10. That's why coaches get him out of there, so they can get their senses back. Uric King running out of the backfield. You know, we talked about this before, Frank. In the West Bloomfield game, he didn't have Duran Stevens. Now, I don't see James Phillips out. There he is. But he used King in the backfield very effectively against West Bloomfield.
Well, King has such tremendous quickness and a great ability to cut with the ball. You have to get it to him. They're playing good pass defense on him. They'll get him in the backfield and hand him the football now.
3 backs in the backfield, and I think a lot of that is going to be to keep the Blue Jays off of Marty's behind. 2-yard pickup for King that time. They pitch it back to Uric, and he finds a hole, but it closes rather quickly. Carl Miller brought him down, number 65 wrapping him up. Kevin Curtis getting off top of his teammate.
I know Darryl would like to get one more first down here, and that'd put him in that 4-down territory where he'll have 4 downs to pick up to 10 rather than 3, because he won't have to punt.
I don't know what they're working on Beatty down there, but they are attending to him. Bob Martin reminding him to watch out for Uric King. Marty back to throw, and he swings it out to the other side to Duran Stevens. His forearm gets him down the field and inside the 35, down to the 33. Jeff Reynolds made the stop, but some great individual effort by Duran Stevens.
Tremendous effort by Stevens. It starts out with the effort by Garagosian to get himself free to even throw the ball. There's great pressure on him from the defensive line. He gets it over to Duran Stevens, and he, with a stiff arm, is able to pick up the first down.
33-yard line of the Blue Jays in favor and possession of the Chargers. They go back to using King as a wideout, and Duran Stevens has the football. Kevin Curtis was there to put his 285 pounds on Duran Stevens. Also over there with help was Marvin Reynolds. That was not Marvin Reynolds. Too big for Marvin Reynolds. Billy Troy, 76. Now we'll get some defensive changes. Goolsby will come out of there, and good to see Chris Beatty back in there and Warren Beard. It's like Marty came up limping after that last play. Second down, 10 yards to go. Pitches it back, and James Phillips will throw. Throws it to Uric King, and King can't catch the football because Marvin Reynolds hit him right at the same time the football got there. Great defensive play by Marvin.
Marvin Reynolds does a good job of wrapping up King's arms and not allowing him to reach and grab the football. You're going to see King get open. He's got position. He's going to reach for the football, and you see his arm get grabbed, and out comes the football.
Well, the next time that Phillips throws a pass, it probably will be complete if the numbers are with him. His first pass of the season he threw was intercepted. This one goes incomplete. Last year, 3 different Lathrop players threw touchdown passes in their victory over Southfield. 33-yard line. Garagosian steps out of the pocket. Will Elkins goes down, and the pass goes incomplete, but there's a flag on the play.
It's going to be face guard, and you have to turn, and you can't wave in front of the receiver's face, and they're going to call the pass interference on him. And but it was an excellent play on the defender's part because it was a sure touchdown if he didn't do it. You're going to see him. He never turns back and looks at the football, and he can't do that. If he plays pass defense, he's got to take a look at the ball. He can't go and just play the face of the offensive receiver.
Now Beverly and Ricky Henry will come out of there, and Kevin Curtis has to go back after his mouthpiece. He comes into the offensive line, or defensive line rather, with number 76, Billy Troy. So it'll be first down and 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 18-yard line. King, the lone wideout. Excuse me. Up on the left-hand side is Will Elkins. Should always assume that. Marty with time, running out of it, and now running out of a lot of things, even room to run. Derek Woods was there, Chris Beatty was there, and a 2-yard loss back to the 20. It'll be second down and 12 Lathrop at the Southfield 20. 8:40 to go in the third quarter. It's 12-7 Southfield.
Well, Marty saw something in the defense, and he put King back into the set. He was going to come out of it with motion, and he thought he could run that option pass, but he get caught from behind.
They'll use both wideouts to the short side of the field now. King the flanker, the wideout being Will Elkins. Doring the tight end left side, back split behind Marty. 2-step drop back, now the quarterback draw, and Marty goes to the outside and is wrapped up. Drop there, Carl Miller, 65. Beatty was over there in case Marty wanted to get up and keep running. They put it down inside the 15. We'll call it the 15. They need to get it down to the 8-yard line, so they're 7 yards shy. But they are in Garagosian field goal range.
Well, this play is real effective at keeping those linebackers in there. He steps back, he checks, and if they bail out, he's going to run the football, and this is keep the linebackers out of the pass defense.
Beatty was the one who was rushing the passer. Beard was the one who was down there with help. Here comes Locke, and he hits him, but he completes it for the touchdown. Uric King makes the catch in front of Donald Blackman. Garagosian got nailed that time as he went back to throw. Uric King.
You can't say enough for Marty Garagosian. He has been taking a pounding back there. Just as he released the ball, he was hit under the left armpit, and those hurt. You know, you have those rib pads and everything, but it's still a stick. King does a great job of receiving the football and giving them the lead.
He needs 3 more to break Eric Stokes' record. Garagosian manages to split the uprights, and so now the Chargers take the lead, 14-12, with 7:35 to go in the third quarter.
Well, Garagosian, you're going to see him get hit. He's going to get stroked from behind the lookout block on the back end, but he puts it right on the numbers, and King pulls in the reception, and it's 6 more for the Chargers.
Uric King's 12th touchdown of the season, his 9th touchdown pass reception. All of them have come from Marty Garagosian, and Marty's 10th touchdown pass of the year ties the school record. And I have a whole list of Lathrop school records, but I know that when you're having problems winning football games, you don't want to worry about individual records. This is a high kick that may go out of bounds. Should have let it go out. Cassidy Wright goes to the outside, and he is grabbed and thrown down by Scott Lewis. Oh, Scott Lewis just made a great one-on-one play, and the Blue Jays will start back at their own 20. He might have wanted to let that one go out of bounds, Frank.
Well, Cassidy Wright, you know, had to make a decision, but if you remember to start the game, they let it bounce, and it stayed in bounds, and they almost lost the football. So he did the right thing. He scooped it up, but he is thrown to the carpet, and it looks like he picked up a rug burn on his knee.
From the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10 for the Blue Jays. They trail by 2 points. Swing pass sideline. Cassidy Wright got away from Uric King, but secondary help